Welcome back, everybody. This is the Renegade Fight. This is day number 6 of Florida State Football Legends and Honors Week. And today we will end this series with talking about the legendary coach, Bobby Bowden. I have on my shirt that says DADGUM Legend because Coach Bowden, that was one of his favorite words or slogans to say was "daggum." For whatever reason or another, that was one of his favorite words, and that word is just so funny to me because the whatever he's describing, he'd always say "daggum." And then, of course, Manny has to represent as well with his shirt that says "Thank you, Bobby." So we'll start show like this. Coach Bobby Bowden started his Florida State coaching career in 1976. During his time at Florida State, Coach Bowden had led teams to national championships in 1993 and as well in 1999. 12 as 12 ACC conference championships once at Florida State has joined in 1991. Bowden's Noles has finished in the Associated Press top 5 for 14 consecutive seasons, which was setting a record that doubled the closest in program history at that time. Bowden spent the last part of his career in a race with close friend Coach Joe Paterno to become the winningest coach of all time at 377 wins, 129 losses, and 4 ties. Bowden was offered several different coaching jobs, but turned them down to stay at Florida State. And during 34 years as head coach with the Noles, Coach Bowden had one losing season, and the Noles finished every season with at least 10 wins in every season, which also is a part of the top 5 in the Associated Press during that time as well. Coach Bowden's teams were always dominant in the ACC, winning or sharing non-consecutive conference titles, which was from 1992 to the year of 2000, only losing conference games in that stretch. They were ranked in the AP poll for all but 3 weeks from 1987 to 2005. This included 211 consecutive weeks from 1989 to 2001, which is the second longest streak in college football at that time. Coach Bowden began in 1999 with his son, Coach Tommy Bowden, as the head coach of Clemson Tigers in the same division, which was the Atlantic Coast, part of the ACC. And that was starting a series with his son called the Bowden Bowl. And along that time, the Bowden Bowl, of course, that series started in the season of 1999. And Florida State and Clemson had a long stretch of series games with his son. And Florida State and Clemson shared wins and losses through that time. And Coach Bowden and his son enjoyed coaching against each other, but they did not really like it too much because father didn't want to play son and beat up on his son, and his son didn't want to play his father. It was just more they loved each other so much they just didn't want to play, but they had a job to do, and they prepared their teams throughout the season and the weeks to play each other. So Coach Bowden and his son Tommy had to do what each other had to do. Uh, and the series for that um, time was 5 wins, 4 losses for Florida State. And Coach Bowden's wife, Miss Ann, you would always see her during the games, and she would have what uh, shirt or sweater, depending on what type of weather it was, and it would be divided down the middle, Florida State versus Clemson, because obviously she want to root for her husband Bobby, but she also want to root for her son Tommy, and that was a good rivalry, and uh, also they took this rivalry along off season during the summer, during golf tournaments, father and son golf tournaments. Coach Bowden has uh, sons that have coached in college football as well. Uh, and not only having sons coached in college football as well, uh, as we already know, Tommy Bowden was there at Clemson. His son, Terry Bowden, also coached at the University of Louisiana Monroe and also at Auburn University. Uh, Coach Bowden also had a son that was on the Florida State staff from 1999 to 2008. So Coach Bowden had a son right there in Tallahassee with him, and those his sons would have summer practices far as playing golf and having tournaments. And Coach Bowden always wanted to get the upper hand on his sons uh, playing golf. And I'm sure that they had a wonderful time doing so. Coach Bowden has a motto, had a motto, uh, and his motto was faith, family, and football. Coach Bowden always dedicated his time going to church on Sunday. And most times when he went to church on Sunday, not knowing and not realizing until service was either over or somewhere midway through the service, he would look back into the congregation or the crowd, and he would always see some of his Florida State players there in the congregation with him. So just to let you know, uh, Coach Bowden's motto, faith, family, and football, went a long way with his players. Coach Bowden has been known for praying with his players before practices, after practices, and during games, before games, after games, putting God first in everything that they did. And in order to have a successful life, you have to put God first. And if you put God first in your life, then all things will fall in order that they are supposed to fall into. And Coach Bowden was a man of faith. And when he did just what he was supposed to do through his faith, all things fell in the way that they were supposed to fall. And Coach Bowden would always praise his players about when they did good or when they did bad, trying to help correct them as a father figure. And he was a great father figure as well for his players. And his players have always come back to say thank you to him, whether they had went on to play in the NFL or had went on to do other things in life. Those players have always come back to say thank you. Uh, Coach Bowden and his wife, Miss Ann, has raised 6 children. They have 21 grandchildren, uh, and they were a God-fearing family, and they believed in the Lord Jesus Christ and always taking care of the things at home and the things that needed to be taken care of around the community and at the facility. Coach Bowden coached a total of 44 seasons as a head coach, and he had 40 winning seasons, including 33 at Florida State University. We also know that before Coach Bowden came to Florida State University, he has coached at other schools such as West Virginia and Samford University, and he had programs there that were successful as well. And as we know, Coach Bowden passed away on August 8th, 2021, and he was at the age of 91 years old. And his final coaching record when he retired was 377 wins, 129 loss, and 4 tie. Coach Bowden was a foundational coach. He was a mentor coach. He saw the good in people and wanted to always bring out the good in people, whether it be on the field and off the field. He was one of those people that was a visionary. Before he retired, he put people in place that if for some reason he may retire, or have to step away for some reason, these people can carry on the torch and continue the legacy at Florida State, in which they did. We also remember at some time during Coach Bowden's late career at Florida State, he put what's called Coach in Waiting, which was Coach Jimbo Fisher. When Coach Bowden retired, Coach Fisher took over as head coaching duties and also done a wonderful job continuing the legacy of Florida State, which Coach Bowden laid the foundation. Now all you have to do now is just continue to build and build the right way. And as we are coming into the 2025 season, we have coaches in place still that can still build onto the foundation and upgrade things that are around the program that Coach Bowden set. And without a person like Coach Bowden, uh, foundations and buildings through a program cannot be built and built right without somebody being a visionary and seeing what is the greater good for the future. And Coach Bowden was that. I was so fortunate to see Coach Bowden coach on TV, never to see him coach in person, but I seen him on TV. He was always the same person. He was always had a good laugh, and he always had something good to say to somebody or something around. And I one of the main reasons too, as well, I become a Florida State fan in 1996 was watching Coach Bowden coach. Loved the way he coached his style of players and the discipline that he laid. I also enjoyed watching him coach, and I also just enjoyed that. So, um, Coach Bowden was a awesome coach, an awesome man, an awesome teacher, and he will truly be missed. And we just always just remember and reflect time after time about his teaching and coaching, because it still is present today in today's Florida State program. We will never forget Coach Bowden. We thank him for all that he has done for us through his coaching and everything that he, done. And we are just wanted to end this by saying thank you, Coach Bowden, and always uh, thank you again for being a coach, leader, teacher. So I just encourage everyone, like, share, subscribe. This is the Renegade Fight, day number 6, and the final day of uh, honors, Florida State honors and legends and players week. Find us on Instagram. Tell a friend about us. Leave a comment. This is the Renegade Fight. I'm your host, RDJ. See you soon. Go Noles.